Hey guys, Creepsmcpasta here again. Just want to give you all a bit of an update on a situation that's gone down over the past year. I say year, yet it almost feels as though it's been decades. I loved her. I truly did. For those of you that don't already know, last year I lost the love of my life due to a series of unfortunate events. No, not like the book series by Lemony Snicket. I lost my beautiful waifu to my now arch nemesis, Jeff the Killer. I know a lot of you are going to laugh or even sigh in disbelief of a pasta monster like Jeff the Killer being real, but take it from a person who has seen the man firsthand. He is very much real. In fact, I'd go as far to say that the stories in which Jeff the Killer has been depicted grossly underrated his power. For him to be able to beat me up when I stand a tall 5'4" and grew up on the insane fighting tactics I learned from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is truly terrifying. Over the past year, I've met someone else and tried to move on. I met Sakura on a VR dating game. Sadly, I haven't been able to talk to her much or see her since she doesn't have a mic or a working phone. From what she tells me, she's a 5'10" Swedish supermodel, but has just been struggling a little financially lately. So I've been sending her money here and there when I can. I hope one day she can send me a selfie back, because I can tell she is a 10 out of 10 babe. Sorry, I just got a little sidetracked there. Sakura just distracts my mind so much. Anyway, ever since I got my VR headset, I've mainly used it to try pick up random VR babes, which led me to Sakura. But it's also taken me down a more depraved and dark path. I was once again browsing the deep web when I came across this advertisement for a VR game called CreepyPasta Land. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not what you would call an expert on creepypasta, but I thought I'd give it a go anyhow. What I found on there will stay for me for the rest of my life. Even though I'm a bit of an ultimate gamer, I for some reason had issues installing this game. Before I could, it made me install this shady program called WinRAR. I'd never heard of such a program before. I even had to pay for the bloody program too. All of this was a bit annoying, but I was determined to play this damned game. The installation was easy enough, and after reading through all 500 pages of the terms and conditions, I clicked agree. You can never be too careful these days with such agreements. Just look at what happened to Facebook. Then, something odd happened. My computer screen went black, and white, bold text fit the majority of my monitor. It read, "You are about to enter the land of creepypasta. If you dare wish to continue, start up your VR headset. Warning, this is not for the faint of heart." I had to swallow back the vomit that was currently building up in my throat from the sheer fear of it all. "Doritos," I said out loud. That tasted like Doritos. After minutes of hesitation, I finally clicked continue and put on my VR headset. The first thing anyone will tell you that has VR experience is how much more in-depth and real it seems compared to our boring 3D world. The one in which the powers that be tell us is real, but that's a topic for another day. The game had me loaded up in what appeared to be an isolated forest. I began to walk around this dark and dreary place with a flashlight the game provided. Yes, you heard me right, a flashlight. For those of you who don't know, a flashlight is a flashlight that obviously lights things up for you, but can also be used to drink from using its removable lid. In the real world, I'm much too in debt to afford that, but my brother lets me borrow his from time to time. In fact, he got his flashlight from our great-grandfather. It's a sort of family heirloom, passed down from generation to generation. Almost every man in my family has used it once or twice. Hopefully one day it can be mine forever, and I won't have to share my sweet drinks from it with anyone. Sorry, got a little distracted there. I'm very passionate when it comes to my flashlight. I walked and walked for what seemed like hours. I was about to take off my headset and see what my VR babe Sakura was up to, and I heard this noise. it was the sound of branches crunching towards my right shoulder. I quickly turned my head to the right as fast as I could, breaking several pus-filled white heads in the process. That's when I saw something nailed to a tree. It was a note that read, "Dear Dick Johnson, if you want to see your girlfriend Sakura alive again, find all 3 pages in this forest. Good luck." Then and there, I began to vomit from fear, but I didn't take off my VR goggles. So throughout the rest of the story, imagine me walking in and around the pile of puke still covering my floor. Wait, I thought to myself, he just called me by my fake old screen name, Dick Johnson. There is only one person I know who calls me that, but it's impossible for him to be here, right? I shrugged the thought off and continued my journey. If I was going to find my baby girl Sakura, I'm going to have to search for all of these goddamn forsaken pages. Page 1 was easy enough to find. It was just hanging from a tree about 30 yards away from me. But a sign read, "Beware of Gucci Belt Forest." The second I walked past the sign, a loud whip noise could be heard, and the next thing I knew, I'd been struck by something. I screamed out in agony, and that's when I noticed something. All the tree vines were Gucci belts. If I was going to get this note, I'd have to endure 30 yards of Gucci belt whips. I bit down hard and began my agonizing journey. I won't lie. To this very day, I still have Gucci belt logos permanently implanted on my skin. After what felt like hours upon hours of Gucci whips, I spit a blood-filled loogie and reached the note. It read as the following. "Good job, Mr. Dick, but your task is far from over." On the backside of the note, there was a dog leash attached to it, and the words, "Find the smiling dog in the forest," was written underneath. I was confused, but continued to aimlessly walk down a straight path. After a while, I began to hear a crunching noise coming from the right side of me. I looked over, but at first couldn't see anything. That's when I noticed these 2 glowing red eyes beaming through the thick fog. The eyes seemed low to the ground, but high enough for me to make them out. I wanted to cower away and throw my VR goggles off, but the thought of my VR babe in trouble filled my low testosterone body with the encouragement I needed. I gritted my teeth and moved towards those seductive eyes. Just when I was a few feet away, the head of the beast peered through the fog. That's when I knew who, or rather what, this was. "Smiledog," I said out loud. For those who don't already know, Smiledog is an infamous creepypasta monster. It makes sense he'd be here, given the fact that this is creepypasta land after all. That's when it all clicked. The leash the note had attached to it. Whoever has Sakura wants me to attach this to Smiledog. I knew this wasn't going to be an easy task. As I grew closer, the beast began to snarl louder and louder. "Good, Poochie Poo. Good boy. Let me just hook this onto you, then I'll give you a treat." With a genius intellect like mine, I figured the dog would fall for this. Then something happened that I didn't expect. He replied to me, "No, I will not be your plaything, human meat." I screamed, loud and hard. I screamed so hard and for so long that even the dog gave out a small whimper from the pain of my anime schoolgirl-like frequency screech. The dog sounded exactly like the voice of Danny DeVito. Whoever made this sick, twisted game must have sampled his voice. "I will not be your plaything, boy. Taste my wrath." Faster than Keemstar can run, the dog lunged at me. The next thing I know, I'm on the ground, thrashing around as this beast tries to bite through my neck. In reality, I was lying on my basement floor, thrashing around my now stale puke pile. I used every muscle in my strong 5'2" body, but it was all to no use. Then, he said something that just set me off. "I guess you were never really man enough to save Sakura." Just like Eren Yeager from my favourite anime show Attack on Titan, I became a beast. I grabbed Smiledog and began my bloody beating. Left hook, right hook, jab to the right again, and to the left. I saw a boxing match once, so I really know how to handle myself in a combat situation. Then, after I figured the poor beast had enough, I attached the leash to his collar. I looked down at his eyes and called him a good boy. "Take me to the note, damn it!" I screamed at him. The voice of Danny DeVito replied, "Haha, you'll have to walk me first." I walked the beast for another 10 minutes before he could produce me a solid bowel movement. With my greasy fingertips, I had to dig through all the doggy-do. Inside the gift our dog friend had presented us lay the second note with a GPS attached to it. The note only read, "Come and find her." I knew then and there that this GPS would lead me back to my beloved Sakura. I looked down towards where Smiledog had been, but he was gone. Vanished, lost in our VR game. I licked my fingers clean and began to follow the GPS. What was to come next will forever be known as the greatest battle in my life. It led me to this place in the forest that had no trees. In fact, this place looked like the exact model of my home. I walked inside, and with a crackling, prepubescent voice, I said, "Hello? Is anyone there?" A loud, booming laugh filled the empty halls of my VR home. "Well, surprise, surprise, Creepsmcpasta. How long has it been now? A whole year, I think." I knew that voice, I thought to myself. But before I could connect the dots of who it was, the lights in the house all came on at once. There, standing in front of me, was my now mortal enemy, Jeff the Killer. This time, though, he wasn't alone. To his right stood the tall figure of Slenderman. Now, being a man like myself, anyone who is above 5'5" sends fear down my spine. So you can only imagine how terrified I was in that instant. To his left sat Smiledog, and beside him was eyeless Jack. "Even you?" I said, pointing towards Smiledog. He replied, "Sorry, dog. I hate to do it to you, but I'm a man's best friend after all, and my best friend is Jeffrey Boy over here." "I don't have time for all this foolish," I screeched. "Just give me back Sakura and I'll be on my way." Jeff and the others laughed hard for a good 2 minutes before Jeff said, "Don't you understand? There is no Sakura. She was never real. I've been her the whole time." "No, that's impossible. What Sakura and I have is deep and real. She's my girlfriend and my lover." "No, Creepsmcpasta," Jeff continued. "I am your girlfriend." "But we've made VR love," I said. Jeff laughed. "And I'd do it all again, just to see this look on your face, the last look you will ever make." The next thing I knew, they all charged me. They beat me relentless for what seemed like an eternity. But I'll have to admit, my soul was already so crushed from finding out I was catfished by Jeff the Killer that I didn't even put up a fight. I thought then and there that my life was in the VR god's hands. I'll accept whatever fate was given to me. Just when my body was almost completely broken and my short life was about to come to an end, the power to my VR headset switched off. I woke up and took the headset off. I got off the vomit-filled floor. I was confused. Why had the game suddenly crashed? I tried to turn it back on, but nothing seemed to work. That's when I had remembered. I hadn't paid the electricity bill this month. I was too preoccupied with sending Sakura all of my money. I was flat broke, and the power company must have cut me off. In the end, Jeff scamming me for all of my money only caused his downfall. That night, I received an unexpected phone call. It was from my old ex-girlfriend, who's an anime body pillow. The one who last year ran off with Jeff the Killer. It was so comforting to hear her robotic voice once again. She explained to me that she had no idea what Jeff had done, and that catfishing me like that really crossed the line. She broke up with Jeff and was now on the market. Though she didn't want me back, she said we could try start over as friends. Though it's not the ending I wanted, I'd take that over being cucked by Jeff the Killer any day. So remember, kids, don't trust everything you might find in the VR world. Until next year, yours truly, CreepsMcPasta.